Hey everyone, Coach Tom here with Coach Dodie on an opportunity to share some thoughts and ideas with you around something that's very near and dear to both of our hearts because it's something that is very much linked to our values, and that is the idea of partnership, what we call living the sacred truth. So Dodie, welcome. Thanks for taking up the invite to spend some time together.
Thank you for having me here. I'm excited to explore what's going to happen on this call, because we often, as I'm, divinely feminine in that flow state, I'm sure we'll get some really good information to share with everybody.
And to create context for this, you guys, not only in the coaching world, I mean, certainly, Dodie and I have been coaching for many, many, many years and coached a lot of people through some of the things we're going to talk about tonight. But just on the personal side, I mean, I've been in a partnership relationship with my partner, Shelley, for, as of this recording, 35 years. And Dode, you and Mark been together how many years?
Actually, I'm like 33 years since I was in grade 7. We've been married for 20, so I feel I've got some experience with some partnership stuff.
and let's be clear, we certainly have lots of ideas and theories to share, but we also, as Dodie just stated, I mean, we've also both been in the trenches for like all of these years, right? So again, my wife and I have been married 35 as of this recording, but we've been in a relationship for closer to 40. So it's like we've got a few badges, though, right, of honor to be in the trenches, because if you've been in a relationship, an intimate relationship that long, you've certainly had some ups and downs and some challenges to overcome. So again, we're happy to share with you guys ideas and theory, but we're also happy to share with you some like practical pieces, right? And again, to give you context, gang, for this. If you're not already a Full Circle client, we have a 4-pillared model to our coaching to help people awaken to their authentic potential and experience more of their full potential, both personally and professionally. And the 4-pillared model are vision, focus, systems, and team. And so this, generally speaking, falls a little bit under vision, ideal vision, Dode, for your relationship and what you'd love it to look like. But also largely this comes up under the pillar of focus. Because what we know to be true is that your vision and the authentic expression of that vision can and or will be blocked by things, by what we call focus blocks. Another term that may slip into our nomenclature here is an ESOL, an energetic space occupying lesion. Things that you're concerned about, things that you're worried about, things that are taking up space on the hard drive of your awareness or mind that are blocking you from being as focused as you could be, being as direct in your convictions and certainty for decision making as you could be. It's just creating that brain fog, right? So again, this is why for us as Full Circle coaches, it's important to do this recording and to have this dialogue with you so that we can understand, you can understand more about your ideal vision for what you'd love your partnership to be like, right? And also, if this is a focus block for you, how to help clear that block so that you can express more of your inherent greatness to the world, right? So that's the context for it. Dode, anything to add to that, or did I cover the pieces?
Cover the pieces.
Cool. So let's talk about one of the keys and real focal points to, again, we're certainly framing this under the frame of an intimate relationship, an intimate partnership for clarity. But a lot of the ideas and contextual pieces we're going to share are just as important in any sort of a partnership, right? It's a business partnership or otherwise. So again, you can certainly, if you're not in an intimate relationship, don't hit stop the recording. There's actually some great stuff here that will ripple out into other aspects of your life, okay? So again, here's the key. What are the purposes of relationships in our perception, our awareness? Is partnership really provides us with a living, breathing example of our disowned parts. Because if you think about why you're in a relationship, why you're in a partnership with this person versus that person, right? It's there for us to learn and to grow and evolve. And so we're very rarely going to be in partnership with this person that's identical to us, though, right? It's usually the person that actually is like, in a lot of ways, our opposite, the person that pisses us off. No one can piss me off like my wife. I mean, she just knows that button and just knows how to just, like that, just to, get me going, right? So again, just if you're in a relationship with someone who is annoying you, pissing you off, pushing your buttons, but also just brings out more of that loving tenderness in you than possible, then again, based upon our frame, Dodie, they're probably in a meaningful, productive relationship.
Yeah. It's creating that balance, right? The both sides of the weighted spectrum. love and the hate emotions all together at once, which creates the passion as you go forward, for sure.
That's one of the pieces, right? So again, it's a lot of people would say, "Oh, I've been in a relationship for a few months or a few years. It's not working out. I think I'm going to get on to the next." And we're not suggesting that there aren't times where, terminating a relationship isn't possibly the best choice. My wife and I have 8 times in our relationship looked at each other and said, "Do we want to keep doing this together?" We recognize it's a voluntary relationship, and we've every time we've done it, we've learned and grown and chosen. Haven't done it in quite a few years. It was in a more volatile phases of our relationship, but again, it's just I think good context and frame to recognize that that's a possibility. Your intimate relationship is not necessarily a lifelong thing unless you choose it to be, but it can create lifelong opportunities for growth and development. Just on that front, what's one or two of the most important things you've come to learn in your intimate relationship with your partner about yourself?
About myself. Definitely how and why I choose to do things, which often links into my core values, but then understanding Mark's core values as well makes me learn and appreciate why he does the things he does, where I may at times think, oh, he's ignoring me or not doing the things that I want him to do. But in actuality, he's just really living true to his core values. And then when I can communicate to him and the level that he understands with his core values, it makes a huge, huge difference.
No questions. And we're going to talk about core values in just a sec, so, but again, let's be clear. There might be people that are watching this recording that are like, yeah, I just want my business to grow. So, but yes, but if you've got these, what we call ESOLs, if you've got these focus blocks, then you are not, as I stated earlier, you're not going to be as focused. You're not going to be as creative. You're not going to be as innovative. You're not going to be as collaborative. It's going to block you from being the best version of you, not just in your personal life, but in your business life as well, right? So again, clearing those blocks. And I over our many years as coaches here at Full Circle, we have seen just example after example of clients who dove into this material, Dodie, right? And cleared those blocks, and then mysteriously magic, and not only is their intimate relationship better, family is more harmonious, but their business jumps by 20% in a quarter or whatever, right? So again, if you're coming at this recording from a pure business perspective, trust me, we're going to help you grow your business by helping you be better in your intimate relationships. So as we go into core values, let's preface that underneath the umbrella of communication, because really the hallmark of a great relationship is great communication. And as we talk about many of the parts of that communication difference between, the two aspects or the two poles of a good partnership, certainly at the core of all that is core values. So let's just start a dialogue, Dodie, and just for those that maybe haven't had a chance to review it, who maybe aren't clients yet, let's talk a little bit about core values. Just enlighten the audience as to, core values, where they come from, how it makes a difference in our lives in knowing our core values.
The core values really is a place from knowing within yourself of why you do the things that you do automatically, that you have highest value for. Often people will have a core value of family or business or success or health. And you can see that their actions reflect exactly what they value most in life and in business. And when you can know what your core values are, you can understand why you choose to make the decisions you do. And when there's any kind of conflict with your core values, people have a harder time really living their life in their ideal, right? Knowing why they want to do things, and they're, instead of just doing things for what they think others should have them, like wanting them to do. I know that sounds a bit odd at the moment.
Well, actually, but it goes to the heart, Dodie, I think, of communication, because as we try to understand why we do things, commonly, as we stated earlier, our partner does things differently than us, right? And very, very commonly, they have different values or different perceptions of values, right? So your values right now, Dodie, what are your current values as you've interpreted them?
Yeah, so family, growth and development, and expression of human potential, and health. Those are my 4 top core values.
So how does family core value get expressed in your life, Dodie? What's just some common examples, choices you make, right from business to the holidays to whatever?
Yeah. So exactly. So from a business perspective, it actually is helping to teach my kids the importance of doing something that I'm really passionate about. So being a chiropractor and being a coach, when I go to the office, I'm actually teaching my daughter, Sarah, that she also has the opportunity to do the things that she wants to do. And when I'm going there and I'm doing the things I love, I'm creating a financial income that supports my family so that we can have vacations and do things, the kids can be involved in their sporting events like hockey and horseback riding and those kind of things. So that's the basics of family for me. And then at home, it means caring for them, doing grocery shopping and making sure, teaching them the chores of all of those aspects. But also it ties in health as well, because I'm making sure that we're buying foods that are healthy so that we can meal plan and do those things to support the family. And then the growth in the human potential also comes in. I go to different seminars and enjoy, learning, expanding and growing and helping other people do the same thing, as well as within the coaching relationship and my office, providing them their opportunity to have their best human potential, right? Doing the things that they love to do.
Yeah, no question. So, and I've known you a long time, Dodie, right? And so, as almost going back to Ralph Waldo Emerson quote, don't tell me what you believe, show your life by example, and I'll tell you what you believe, right? Or what you value, to make probably better terms, right? And so your action speaks to a lot. They can't hear the words you say, was actually the quote. And so again, if I had known you all these years, Dodie, right, and I see even like the number of hours that you choose to work in your office, right, number of hours that you can dedicate to coaching and stuff, you don't allow that to interfere with your family commitments, because your family is your highest value, right? And so again, what Dodie was eloquently saying earlier is that, if you look at your partner and the choices they're making, and put it through the filter or the lens of their values, understanding and knowing their values, you can help to understand them and their behaviors. Even if it pisses you off, even if it pushes your buttons, you can understand that they are highly likely just doing the best they can with the skills, tools, network resources available to them to live their life according to their values, right? And I think that your relationship, like mine, or like for many years, my family was my number one value. It has just recently been reallocated to number two. And so if you look at the decisions I made around the numbers of weeks of holidays I took, the number of hours I worked in my clinic, the coaching decisions I made, lots of different business decisions I made were predicated by my highest value of family. And it is just now just literally not slipped, because it was a very intentional piece for me, but it's number two now because my daughters are older. I got 5 daughters, for those that don't know, and they're in their 20s now. So again, parenting 20-something-year-olds is quite a bit different than parenting 3- and 5-year-olds, right? In terms of the amount of time and energy and focus. So it's not that they're any less important to me, but in terms of the amount of time and energy and focus it takes to parent them the way I would love to as a father, it just takes less. So as a result of that, expressing optimal human potential, which is my number one value now, has just kind of just risen a little bit in the hierarchy. And if you look at my life and the example of my life, I'm actually investing less time day to day with my children than I used to. Not because I love them any less or they're any less important to me. It's just literally, it's not necessary for the dynamic of the relationship to carry on, right? So the reason this is so important in a partnership conversation, gang, for those that are watching this recording, is that when you can understand your partner's values, as we stated earlier, you can understand their behavior and they're less likely to push your buttons. You can also predict behavior. If you share values, which my wife, Shelley's highest value has been family, and I don't know if that's ever going to change, but it's so far above number two, it's hardly even describable. And it's neat that even though her expression of her value of family was different than mine, certainly we shared that common family value. And as a result of that, there was lots of decisions that we made that allowed that to go on. So there's an exercise we recommend. Dodie, needs, wants, likes. You want to chat a little bit about that? And I certainly have a very personal story I'd like to add to this.
So the needs are something that are just sort of general, or sorry, let me go backwards. The likes, because you want to kind of start at the bottom part of this, and that the likes are basically a low vibration piece. And it's something that's not super important, but it should go on the list. Like an example would be if someone really likes golfing and the other person doesn't like golfing, then that person, could easily go golfing with somebody else and there's no offense taken in that. Like my husband is big into mountain biking and he wants to go mountain biking. That's something I have no desire to do, but that's on his likes list. He wants to be able to go mountain biking. Not offensive. Whereas a wants is something at a next vibrational piece. Like a wants would be communication between partners would be important. Having date nights would be something that would be a want in your list of things. Whereas in needs would be really, really important, like deal breaker. If this doesn't happen, then the relationship can't happen. Like, you know, you have to stay true to your partnership, and you can't stray from that at all. Whereas some people think that they can have other partnerships while in a partnership. So that would be a very strong need. And when couples can get really clear on what their likes are, what their wants are, and what their needs are, then and they compare the two, they can actually see what the people, which both partners can see how they can work together in order to fulfill their relationship needs.
Yeah, 100%. So my personal story to this is when I, brought this exercise into fruition, and my wife and I many years ago did this. We were out at our wilderness lodge, and we spent the best part of a day doing this. And as Dodie said, we started with the likes, and usually what we find, Dodie, right, is that it's almost like a hierarchy, like a pyramid. It's like there's probably more things down at the like level, a few less things at the want level, a lot less things at the need level, like the deal breakers, the things that are literally linked to your, to your core values in some way, shape, or form, right? So my wife and I we spent hours, 10, 12 hours, maybe 14 hours doing this over the course of the day, because step one is to list them, as Dodie said, independently. But then once you've got that exercise done, then coming together and talking about it, right, is really the key. Because I like golfing. My wife's not interested in golf, but I can like golf. I can enjoy golf. I don't need to have her golf with me in order to be in a partnership with her, right? Wants, again, as you said, Dodie, a little higher vibration, a little more desire there to do that with your partner, but again, not a deal breaker. And as you stated, Dodie, right, the most common one is monogamy, right? With people like, hey, if you need to be in partnership with other people and me, that doesn't work for me, right? So that's a deal breaker. But it would be cool if this was an exercise you had to do like before you got into a long-term committed relationship, but even doing it at any stage of the relationship would change. So when we went through our needs, I only had 4 and my wife had 5, and we went through, and a couple of them were pretty straightforward, but there was, remember, the 3 of hers, I was like, wow, I had no idea that was that important to you. And she, of course, she's like, oh, wow, you idiot, you should have known. I said, well, okay, call me a Cro-Magnon man, right? But I said, well, then help me understand how I could fulfill that need for you. And so that was where it actually took the time. We had these really long conversations about, well, this is how you would support me. And I said, like, be crystal clear, like, just really, show me what I've done that's not supported that value, that high need, and show me ways that I could support it. Just lay out scenarios for me. And then I did it, for her. And that created a more harmony in a relationship than anything ever. So again, watch the thinking, gang, right? As we started earlier and created context. When you have harmony in your partnership, it's not an ESOL. It doesn't block energy. Your focus is higher. Your concentration is better. Your creativity is better. Your business will flourish, and your personal life would obviously, flourish, right? So, all right. So, Dodie, talk about communication. Let's at least handle one more on this recording. Let's talk about personality profiles and your experience with that in coaching.
I think that personality profiles plays a very large role in understanding the person you're communicating. Because of the personality differences, everyone communicates a little bit differently. So for those that don't already know, we often have like 4 major personality profiles: the driver, the amiable, the analytical, and the expressive. And the drivers are very, straightforward. They make decisions really quickly and easily. They just say whatever needs to be said just to get that out there. Whereas, the amiables are they really want to make sure everyone's happy, and it's hard for them to make a decision, and they want everyone to just get along, that golden retriever like. And then there's the analytical people, but they need the facts and the details in order to make any kind of decision. And then there's the expressive. They just want to be the life of the party. They can quickly make, they want very spontaneous, expressive. They talk a lot, all of those kind of things. If I were to share between Mark and I, so Mark is very much a driver, and I am very much an amiable personality. And so, he'd say, what do you want for dinner? And I'd be like, I don't care, because I don't care, right? And he'd be like, just make a decision. I'm like, well, I don't know, do you want like Mexican, or do you want Chinese? Or like, I just couldn't make that decision. Whereas if I asked him, what do you want for dinner? He'll be like, hamburgers. Like he knows right away what he wants. But we could get easily frustrated because we he would think I wasn't doing what he wanted me to do or say, and vice versa. Like, he didn't really even think about the options that he could have. He just like, I want hamburgers. But when you can understand that he makes decisions really quickly, then you're okay with it. And if he can understand that it takes me a lot longer to make decisions, then the communication can be better and easier to manage. But also, when I like to hear things flowery and feelings and all of those things. And if he is just really straightforward, I can take a lot of offense to that based on the tone that he has with that as well. And so I think with us, knowing that that's how he does, and then my level of acceptance of that and understanding, it's much easier. So I don't get as charged, and vice versa. We kind of laugh at the situation, right? And I'll be like, "Rah, you got your lion pants on, right?" And and he'll be like, "Oh yes, Mrs. Retriever, right? Always just want everyone to be happy." But there is different changes in those personality types, so that has a huge part in communication.
Well, because as you wisely stated, though, right? If you don't understand how the other person communicates, knowing that's just how they're wired, it's different than you. And again, let's go back to what we said at the start of this recording. It's like the purpose of a relationship is to own your disowned parts, is to appreciate, respect, and love all aspects of the colors of the rainbow, all aspects of our fellow human beings, and certainly the one or ones that we're in partnership with, right? To that nth degree. So if you understand how they communicate, it's like that's not them pushing your buttons. That's just them being them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And understanding that and allowing that is there. And so again, just to go my personal side of that, Dodie, right? I'm on that driver expressive kind of cusp, so I kind of exhibit both. My wife is very amiable, right? So again, until I understood this more clearly, very similar to your dynamic, right? I would get frustrated by how long it took her to make a decision, because she truly just wants harmony, right? Just wants everybody to get along. So it really doesn't matter to her. Just as you said, Dodie, it doesn't matter to you. You could eat Mexican, Chinese, whatever, you just want people to get along. And so the downside to it was the driver's side of me just wanted to quickly make a decision and get on with dinner. Whereas, she just wanted everybody to get along and she didn't care. But we could just stay paralyzed and, have a discussion for an hour and a half and completely miss dinner if we let the amiable, go too far, versus the driver could just like bulldoze over the amiables and then they don't get a voice, right? So again, the goal here, gang, at this stage is to just know that there's lots of different ways to communicate. Communication is an absolute key fundamental part to a great relationship. If your relationship is not harmonious, or as harmonious as it could be, it's creating blocks, it's creating focus blocks, creating ESOLs, blocking you from expressing your fullest potential of the world, blocking your creativity, blocking your focus, blocking your ability to concentrate and just be the best version of self. So understanding these things, clearing these things is absolutely, crucial. So Dode, I think we've got a good piece of data here in this conversation today, talking about partnership, living the sacred truth, talking about some of the markers and monikers, I guess is maybe a better word, for what it takes to build an intimate relationship. And again, if you're not a client of ours, certainly some of this stuff might seem brand new. If you are, and you haven't got to this yet with your coach, you certainly might want to, if you feel like this just got more important to you, then you might want to talk to your coach about maybe upping it up the priority list of things to work through. But again, the goal, create the harmonics, create the ideal, authentic relationship that serves you, serves your needs, serves your values, and everything else will follow from there. So Dodie, any closing thoughts before we start to wrap this one up?
Yeah, just to affirm that when you love yourself as much as you can possibly love yourself and all of the people around you, that is so easily expressed in your business, because you're coming in with an open canvas to create and share your expression to the people in front of you as well, or whatever business you're doing. It definitely is reflective of your relationships at home.
For sure. Well, we have a saying at Full Circle, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So how you run your business is how you're doing your intimate relationships. And certainly if you're, there's some pieces in here around communication, you go, wow, I should research that. Could be better at that. I promise you that it's not just showing up in your intimate relationships, it's showing up in your social life and as well as your business, right? So if you're watching this on one of the social media channels and you'd like to get more of these kinds of recordings, then please just, hit the subscribe button. And these will be coming into your inbox on a really regular basis. So Dodie, thank you so much for being you and for sharing some time with me today. And for the people that are watching, thank you so much for being a part of the Full Circle community. And we look forward to chatting with you. Dodie, we've got a couple more of these to work on in the communication and relative to partnership. Yes?
Yes, yes. Looking forward to the next video.
Looking forward to it. Maybe we'll even do a wardrobe change. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, Dodie, thanks again. We'll chat with you all. Folks, have a great day wherever you are in the world. Thanks.
Bye.
Our mission at Full Circle Coaching and Consulting is to awaken individuals to the power of authentic expression and help them realize their full potential, both personally and professionally. Without a cookie-cutter approach, we help you design and manifest your most authentic dream life, resulting in you earning more money and you having more time with your loved ones. You don't need to learn anything new in order to have the business and life you desire. You need to unlearn and shed all the unsupportive beliefs and behaviors that are subconsciously sabotaging your success. We help you connect with that factory-installed inner guidance and then reverse engineer the steps it takes to go from where you are to where your heart is calling you to be. This is our specialty. Let us help. When you're ready, connect with us through the links in the description below or go to our website at fullcirclecoachingandconsulting.com.